Alright, here's another video for 2HT and 2VT about solving quadratic equations. This one is about exercise 62, and in this exercise you'll see all the different things that can happen. So I'd like to show you all of them once more. Here we have x squared plus 8 equals 9x. Now the first thing you always want to have is a 0 on this side, otherwise you cannot solve it. So if there's anything else than a 0, you have to remove it. So we're going to move this to the other side. So you get x squared minus 9x plus 8 equals 0. I'd like to write it down in this order. So squared, normal x, normal number. But you can also write down x squared plus 8 minus 9x if you want. But if you write it down in this order, it's very easy to see how to do the product sum method. Because the product sum method, you're looking for two numbers. If you multiply them, you always get this number, the number without an x. So I'm looking for two numbers. If you multiply them, we get 8. And when we add them, we get minus 9. So this is a 9. So we do x minus 1 and x minus 8. Because when you add it, you get minus 9. And when you multiply it, you get 8. So x minus 1 equals 0. Or x minus 8 equals 0. So x is 1 or x is 8. Right? And to repeat one more time why you can write down this row over here. It says here, this times that is 0. So if the outcome of a multiplication is 0, then one of these things should be 0, right? Otherwise you can never get a 0 here. Moving on to the next exercise, this will be slightly different because there's also an x here and there. So we don't actually have a normal number like the 8 over here. So this is how it works. First we want to have a 0 on this side. So we're going to do minus 3x, also there. So you get x squared plus 6x equals 0. Now if you only have two things, and one thing is x squared and one thing is x, then you have to put the common factor in front of brackets. Now, x squared and 6x can both be divided by x. And then in brackets you have x plus 6. So now we've factorized it. So now we can say x is 0. Or x plus 6 equals 0. So that means that x should be minus 6 in this case. So 0 or minus 6. Moving on to another example. This is 62f, because I thought that one was kind of difficult. Right? Here we have 9x squared minus 19 is 17. So now we do have an x squared, but in a normal number we don't have an x here. So let me show you how you can solve this. In this case, yeah, you can still make a 0 here if you want. So there you get 9x squared. And then you remove 17 here, so you get minus 36. Now in the book, they do something now, but I like to do something different. First I'll tell you what they do in the book. So I'll do two explanations here. Right? In the book they say, if you have something squared here, and here a number, then you can take the square root of that. So that's 3x. And you can take the square root of that, and that's 6. And then you can factorize it like this. Because if you work out the brackets, you'll get that again. And then you can say that 3x plus 6 equals 0, right? Or 3x minus 6 equals 0. So then you have to move the 6 to the other side. So 3x is minus 6, which means that x is minus 2. Or you move this 6 to the other side, so then you get 3x equals 6, so x is 2. So this is the way that the book explains it. Over here I'm going to explain what I actually prefer. When you don't have an x here, right, you can just move the 36 to the other side again. So we're going to do that. So then 9x squared equals 36. Then I'm going to divide this by 9. So you have x squared equals, this is actually a nice number now, this is 4. Sometimes you don't have a nice number. I'll show you in the next example what you can do then. So if x squared is 4, that means that x is 2 or x is minus 2. So I think this is a lot easier. Moving on to G, this is the same exercise, but now we'll not have such a nice number here. Okay, so you can do the method that they do in the book. They have to take the square root of this and that. So you would get 4x plus 9 and 4x minus 9, and then work it out like that. Or you can do what I just told you, and then we're going to move the 81 to the other side. And then divide it by 16. But I'm going to write it down as a fraction, because 81 divided by 16 is actually not a nice number. So now x is the square root of 81 divided by 16. But these two numbers, they do have a nice number in themselves, because the square root of 81 is 9, and the square root of 16 is 4. So this is 9 over 4, and then we get the other answer, which is minus 9 over 4. Okay, but I mean, exercises like this are kind of difficult. Hopefully you understand this by now, and then today we're going to practice with that some more. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you later.